someone you love very much is about to die. Could you please introduce us to your character?
My name is Halandil Fang. Hal. I am a older, dark-haired with streaks of white orc gentleman. Dressed in fairly fine but not ostentatious clothing. And has smile lines at the eyes from a life well lived. Trying in this moment to hold on to the spirit that has buoyed him through his life. Maybe not doing as well as he'd like to in this moment.
Waiting at the steps, his eyes on the approaching wagon. Luis is your character. Could you please introduce us to your character?
Yes. Azune Nayar stands tall, proud. Human in appearance, he is just over 5'10", but gives the presence of someone that's taller than that. His pride carries him above his height. He is strong, lean, muscular. He has medium brown skin and coppery auburn brown hair that's tied back in a braid, a birthmark that goes up the right side of his neck, up his face, and up to his forehead around his eye. His eyes look like a sunset on an ocean. The bottom half of his irises are a deep blue. His pupils are yellow, like the sun that burst out into an orange, and then into a teal, and then into a light gray. He is wearing full armor, as is given to him by his station in Dolmakyar. He is a member of the Revolutionary Guard, an arcane marshal, specifically. And his arms are exposed. Along his right bicep are tattooed the words, "Have mercy on those I send you."
Abria, would you please describe your character for us?
Thaisha is she's tall for an orc, 6'4", sort of desaturated green skin, curly, long, dark hair. It's beginning to show the signs of graying, but her druidic connection means that the age of her is being lost in her face. She's already started slowing down, so she appears in her mid to late 30s. Her eyes, the scleras and pupils are black, but her irises are silver with like a ring of red, and on her hands, her fingers go red and black at the tip. She is a Lloy, a family that means something in this city, and she wears those colors, blood and the soot and scale of smiths. And she swishes up the street in fine clothes, but doesn't even seem to be aware of her presence as she speaks with her companion in hushed and panicked tones about what went wrong. Who was supposed to, we just need to figure out what happened. He was supposed to be there. It was supposed to.
I don't know.
Alex, who do we see speaking in this moment?
You see a small young man, about small in presence. He's about 5'11".
Tiny.
He is thin, with dark hair and light olive skin and bright green eyes, and wearing dark, noble clothing that is clean but worn, and with an array of implements around his belt and a book strapped to his leg. And he is glassy-eyed. he is just staring and not blinking. And with him is a small, white and other colors fox. I don't know. That wasn't what was supposed to happen.
Obviously, we need to speak with Azune and Thimble and...
Thimble.
Something.
By her side, her companion. Travis, would you describe your character for us?
Yeah, you see a very tall, very powerfully built lion man. Dark silver fur coming down from his head onto his shoulders. He has a golden breastplate and adornments that would match his station as a vanguard marshal. Purple vestments and a shield on his back as well, with a cape flowing behind him and his feet, of course, uncovered, as is custom for our kind. Powerful arms, a tattoo running up the upper left side of his arm, and you see braids coming down from his mane down onto his chest. And he is moving alongside this orcish woman, but also scanning while he does so. It's habit. It's part of what he does.
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
Just coming for me, dog.
You said you're scanning, right?
What do your lion eyes see?
Let's find out. That is 19.
19.
Oh, shit. First voice.
Arriving here to the funeral, all of you see a carriage moving along the street and turn to see the symbol of the Candescent Creed.
Shit.
A beautiful point of light hovering above a pillar stylized to look almost like the pillar of the sun, or perhaps simply a humble candle, depending on the size of the emblem, for the light surrounds us all. Within that carriage, being driven by a carriage driver and a guard placed sort of beside them to the right of the driver, but in the carriage there are only two figures. And I would like for Sam, for you to describe your character for us.
Well, sitting in the back of the carriage is a tall man, 5'11".
Impossible. Wild.
Tallness is in the mind.
He's a very beautiful young man, maybe 28 or 30 years old. He has light teal and white hair with teal and white robes. I think the most distinguishing characteristic about him would be the pearlescent, shimmering face markings that he has, tattoos all over about half of his face. They seem to shimmer with the light that they make on their own. He is clutching very hard and sort of fingering nervously a cane that he carries with the symbol of the Candescent Creed on the top of it. And he's got a lot of sweat on his upper brow right now, sort of rocking back and forth. I mean, I've just never seen a real dead body like that before. And it was just sort of hanging there, all sort of, the color drained out of him, and it was very, I'm going to need a drink as soon as we get there, all right?
Whitney, could you please describe to whom this gentleman is speaking?
Yeah, okay. People tend to smell her before they see her.
Oh, shit.
Think of like a warm chocolate chip cookie laced with a little bit of sulfur. It's animalic, it's musky, a bit acrid, but with like a creamy sweetness that doesn't make it so unpleasant. It's interesting, and it sticks around. She's beautiful, of course. She's got bubblegum colored skin, white hair, blunt bangs that are sort of haphazardly tucked behind a veil, a bunch sticking out. She's got yellow goat's eyes, soft goat's ears, and she's got a silver arrow piercing through one of them, and of course, a forked tongue. Hooves, put her at around like 5'3", not including the horns jutting out. Her tail peeks out of just an abomination of ruffles that mark her as an aspirant to the Candescent Creed of the House of Halovar. Hi, I'm a demon, and my name is Tyranny. And I really am sorry that when they killed that guy, I said, "Can I eat that?" It's just a little demon humor. I don't know.
I think several people heard you say that, and it was inappropriate, and in the presence of royalty and nobles and nobility and
Just go here, I'm new. You want me to get you a drink?
Teor, your nostrils come online and you smell honeysuckle, a smell of something effervescent and otherworldly. A dim light is dying. You look down in the grate. In that grate, Laura, could you describe your character for us and the state we find her in?
You see a very small, 4-inch tall pixie with short brown hair. She's older than the last time you saw her. You can't tell. She thinks she looks almost 18 at this point. She's in her clothes are a bit tattered now, that dark green. Her wings, which are normally a bright spring green, are almost muted at this point, and the wing is a little bent, and she's unconscious and askew on the ground. Her 2 swords, the needles, have scattered away from her grasp.
I have all of your passive perceptions in front of me. A ghost appears in the doorway of this. You don't recognize figure, but Thimble, Teor, and Azune all do. Robbie, you want to go ahead and describe your character for us?
Yeah. You see a human man.
Is he tall?
Coward. He is so tall. He actually is an imposing figure. He's older. I'd say in his mid-40s or so, but it's tough to tell because he's lived a hard life, a weathered life from the very beginning. You see a man at the waning peak of his physical ability, but he was definitely there and very, very capable. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. He's carved out of the oak that he lives among. Kattigan Vale has a cowl and hood over his head, and monochrome. Everything on him feels scavenged but purposeful, high quality and cared for, but wild and raw. And the things that he wears represents who he is on the inside as well. He's a wild man in a place that he shouldn't be. And as he sort of appears in the doorway in this imposing figure, he stumbles just a little bit. That aura goes away, and as he stumbles, he leans against the door, and you can tell, he's been drinking. Yeah. And that takes away, it diminishes him and the sort of aura that he's putting out. But he recovers quickly and does his best to make a joke and says, I thought this was going to be a funeral, not a reunion. And then through the open window, a massive juvenile canine just floats through the air and lands right in the middle of the room, immediately off to his quarter.
That's
and
new.
Yeah.
I fly up in the air.
And it growls at everyone in the room and slowly walks over to Kattigan and sits at him without any command. Stops growling and looks out at everyone.
I know that dog.
What?
Pin comes up on my shoulder and flows in and goes and sniffs at the dog. This little fox made out of pieces of foxes.
Kattigan's completely confused.
I've seen this dog in the woods. Pin wanders in the woods sometimes, and sometimes I look through his eyes and I see this dog.
Well, you'd absolutely recognize him because Wolfric, the wolf, not a dog. I'm not good at naming things. Is armored himself, and it mirrors Kattigan's armor. On his side is an empty quiver. He even wears a tattered cowl, and Kattigan's knows what's going to happen next. He's just going to tear this fox to pieces, and instead, Wolfric can help me. Pin. Circle each other, and Wolfric takes a submissive pose, and Pin just kind of jumps on him and plays. And Kattigan goes, "Oh, would you look at that? Hey, you've been making friends out there without me."
That's why Pin wanted to wear the scarf.
Talisman, would you please describe your character for us as he approaches?
Well, Bolaire currently is holding his cloak in his hand, which normally he will wear to kind of keep a low profile, but considering that he knows exactly where he's going and is prepared to be a bit of a spectacle, is showing off. He wears a very fine set of clothing. It's not very rich, but it certainly has money and a bit of somewhere between ostentatious taste and trying to blend in, but really not wanting to. He wears black leather and suede, tied over an underlayer of deep red crimson. He is covered head to toe, from gloves all the way up to a high neck. He has very long, curly, dark red hair. And the most notable thing about Bolaire is that he wears a mask. And this mask is a gray clay with dark gray, almost black lips, and very, very large, empty pools of blackness where each eye should be, with a cut to indicate possibly tears that run down the face. Deep within these black pools, you can see tiny blue reflected lights, almost like a cat hiding in a shadow at night. And that's what blinks instead of the mask, deep, deep within. This would be even more disturbing as he approaches the door. The mask itself sighs and moves just like a real face.
Matthew Mercer, do you want to come join us?
Thought we got rid of Matt.
You could only hope.
Link up.
Yep. Slide. Slide.
Don't forget to scoot one more.
Yep. Thank you.
Aha. Hi, Matt.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
To her left, one of her oldest childhood friends. Matt, would you please describe your character?
Yes. You see a human man just about to crest into his 30s. Lanky, compact build, sealed within a reinforced leather military uniform of House Davinos, the vassal house to the Centered House of Royce. In dark purples and gray with red trim, you see across the right shoulder an intricate silver metal pauldron, and the other shoulder itself hidden within a dark green short cape with intricate designs of vine and flower kind of sewn through it. Himself, a very stern, kind of stoic look as he just kind of stares into the opposite side of the carriage. His long, heavily curly black hair kind of tumbling past his shoulders, his other hand kind of resting on his knee while his sheathed rapier sits on his left hip as he just kind of rides in the carriage.
Staring forward, Aranessa is falling apart beside you. It's hard to tell in this moment compared to someone openly grieving how Julien is doing. We move back to the gallery, viewing the execution. Looking down, you sit next to an empty seat. You're not sure, back in the carriage, whether Aranessa saw Thiazi's final moments or not. Her seat was empty beside you, though you knew that she was not far away. So with that amount of privacy, what was Sir Julien Davinos thinking as he watched the final moments of Thiazi Fang?
He sits, arms crossed, in his chair, looking down from his elevated, noble box view of this execution. His hair tumbled past one half of his face. And the faintest little grin peeks at the corner of his mouth. And that's all.
Speaking of the world changing, someone who would know one or two things about that, I think, arrives at the funeral. Marisha Ray, would you come in, please?
Hey! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh my
I am
goodness
so
gracious.
late. Oh, the rain, it is coming down harder than a horse's stream out there. Oh my goodness. Oh. Hi.
Thaisha.
Hi, how are you?
Thaisha, how
hi.
are you?
I'm good.
Oh, shit, and Elodie's here too.
Yeah. Oh my God. Kids are in the corner. How are you? Yeah, I'm great. Oh my goodness. Oh, I brought a cranberry roll and a bottle of Yards Gray.
You see Olga looks over at you and says, "Oh shit!
Oh,
I brought a ton of cranberry rolls."
I brought like a whole 6-pack of cranberry. Well, it's the thought that counts.
Marisha, please describe
my
your character
goodness
for us.
gracious. All right, you see, walking in, she's a little disheveled from the rain, which is not, normally her position. In fact, she just kind of does a little bit of wizard magic to get herself all back into her full shining glory. You see a dwarf woman with kind of long auburn hair spilling out from under a flat brim cap, like big, long, big hat. And then you see that she's wearing this like coat. It's like long duster jacket that doesn't have sleeves. Sleeves are bullshit. And it looks like she walked into a rich person's house and saw someone's rug and went, "That looks nice," and then made a jacket out of it. And then you see she's not afraid of color. And even though it is a funeral, she has to show off her proudest asset, which is her big old rack. And as she likes to say, lanterns are lit, so are the tits.
Let's go.
So she loves a good party. She loves a good funeral. There's just something about her, even though she's very put together. Oh, and you can see she's got a little bit of like a chin strap. It is perfectly braided. And her nails are did, they are shining, and then you see on the tip of her index finger, she's got what looks like a press-on, but when you look a little bit closer, it's like the tip of an ink pen. It's like a quill. So yeah, she's here, and she looks very put together, but also there's just something about her that's a little grimy, a little greasy.
I'm thankful to be 6'4". That is a good angle. Hey, girl, hey.
Yeah, hey. Hi.
Murray Magnuson arrives as truly one of for Thiazi's funeral. This is Thiazi's current crowd that he's been running with. You arrive and look around, Murray, and immediately you see off in a corner, you see a lot of the magical underbelly. For a man who was just hanged for arcanism, there are a lot of arcanists here. Off in a corner, you see Tashmara Cobblegrave catch your eye with her one purely white pinprick pupil eye, and then an eye of a normal sort of hazel sclera. Looks over and goes, Very good to see you.
Good to see you.
Off in a corner, you see a tiny gnome with a kind of crooked top hat who's got a bunch of bracelets looking around, who looks over. This is Uncle Emerald. You see, he looks over and goes, "Hey, Murray.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Condolences.
Oh
Happy
my God,
funeral."
It's just so tragic. And she kind of starts digging into the cranberry rolls, and she kind of picks out of her teeth. And as you see her kind of picking it out, she's missing the front 3, like right side of her teeth. And if you look closer, they've been replaced with gemstones. So she's got one that's a little ruby, one that's just like a kind of a clear white quartz, and then another that's like a purple quartz. How she lost those teeth, who knows?
Walking over to you, a sort of sallow-faced man who you see is just sort of like leather vest, tons of armpit hair pouring out. But you see the vest, like no shirt under the vest, but just sort of a tie, a sort of ruffled tie around like a bare neck. This is Davrazi Gaunt.
Davrazi, you dressed up.
I did. I know that we are mourning the loss of a dear compatriot.
I can see you put in the effort.
Do you still need those skulls?
You know, I think we can table that conversation.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Condolences.
You know where to find me. Yeah.
We'll talk later.
Okay.
But I don't know where we're gonna because he's gone, so I don't know where we're gonna find each other.
You know I work at the Pentavral.
I'm allowed in.
No, you know what? Here, I
Go
just
upstairs.
Yeah, you know what?
Do
Can
the
we
skulls
talk
upstairs.
Can we exchange the skulls upstairs?
I can tell you where to find me if that's
Yeah,
safe.
you know what? Let's make a connect.
Okay, I'll write it down.
It feels weird to be networking at a funeral.
I know, but
I think it's smart.
yeah. He's dead.
Yes.
So we have to kind of.
No, we should.
It's what he would have wanted. He would have wanted us to.
Look, this isn't my address. This is an address for someplace else that you can find me at on like Thursdays.
Okay, I'll be there
and
nonstop until you
Tuesdays.
show up.
Okay, yeah, I tend to like to go have a glass of wine. This is one of the dive bars that Faye.
Great. Yeah, the temperature has dropped about 15 degrees in the last minute. It is night, and the clouds have vanished, and the silver light over the rookery casts everything in a strange translucence. I'm going to need perception checks from both Thaisha and Julien in this moment.
14.
That's going to... Oh.
14?
Glorious 10.
Glorious 10.
I am fully, right now, believing that this is your doing. I'm like... We'll only be here a short time.
No, this isn't me.
The magpies aren't cawing. Something ancient moves upon the face of this city. A figure is walking up the street. The lights are not on in the other houses. It walks alone, approaching this home. Ashley Johnson, you want to come out?
I bet it's super chill.
Yeah.
Probably.
Sup, bro?
Yeah.
You bring the night.
Oh, I brought the night. I brought the night. Okay. Hi.
Hi. Would you do me the favor of describing your character as she approaches the top of the hill?
Sure. You see an extremely tall woman.
5'11".
Dressed in sort of deep obsidian, snug, black leather chest armor and robes and pale white lacing that goes all the way up the top to the top of her throat. She pulls down a black hood and she wears a veil of mourning that looks to be chainmail that's draped over her elven ears.
Cool.
And the part of her face that we can see, you can see that there's gashes and scarring and burns. What almost looks like a scar of arcane magic. Wrapped around her waist a few times is a very, very long chain, and she holds the end of it sort of laced between her fingers, and dangling on the bottom of it is a censer with some smoke coming out of it. She walks up and sees the two of them.
As you approach, covering on your face, you wear a veil of mourning, an article of religious, perhaps even ecclesiastical garb. And though you approach a funeral, the veil of mourning is not for the deceased that lies within. You behold a human warrior, an orcish druid, as you arrive at the top of the hill, the censer in your hands. You smell funereal incense, the stink of liquor. Last rites are being held within this place. You have arrived exactly where you were told to expect the event you now see unfolding.
Do I recognize the, do you have, religious paraphernalia on you?
Not that you can see. It is just, she's just wearing pure black, minus her white lacing, and there's not really any religious symbols on her whatsoever.
Are you here to mourn Thiazi Fang?
I walk straight inside.
You walk into the home. Hal, you turn and see an unfamiliar figure appear.
Good evening.
Hi.
Hello. Guests of Thiazi Fang's funeral. I am Vaelus of the Sisters of Salandri, the fallen goddess of life, the Green Mother, the shaper of the elves. I would like an audience with the executor of this man's things.
I'm Thiazi Fang's brother. If that is what you're looking for.
That man is a thief, and he stole something that belongs to me. And I intend to get it back. I don't mean any trouble here. My apologies to everyone. A brother, a lover. I just want what is mine.